Hello YouTube friends, or welcome to The Last Homely House, and welcome to Jane and Jan. Now, if you've been watching my videos for a long time, you might remember Jan and Jane because how many years ago is it now?
It's nearly 6.
Is it nearly 6 years?
Yeah.
It's nearly 6 years, so it must have been one of my very early videos that I put on the channel.
Yeah, you said that, I would have forgotten.
Yeah, which was about Jan and Jane's wedding, which was a fantastic wedding on the Hadrian's Wall. It was beautiful, so we'll definitely be leaving a link to that video. But at that time, when we were organising all of that, and I was helping out with bits and pieces, I decided...
Basically doing the decoration.
Well, helping.
Pom-poms.
Oh, tell us about the pom-poms.
The pom-poms, well, the pom-poms became my project. It's based on, is it Chinese that make little... Japanese make little origami cranes.
Stars or cranes.
And they have to make 5,000 to show their commitment.
And
so
to that person.
Yeah, so I did it in pom-poms.
And did you make 5,000 pom-poms?
At least.
At least.
But everybody helped as well.
It was wonderful, and I really loved getting involved in all of that. And at the time, I thought, I've got to make these girls a wedding present. So here it is now.
Hey.
We're going to be talking about the thing that I want to make you for your wedding present. And so we've been talking about it for, years. Well, that time's finally come now. And so the girls were around the other day, and we were looking at all of my different quilts and photos of quilts and all sorts. And I was trying to work out what it is you wanted from this gift. And what was that conversation all about then?
And it was quite funny because, as in most aspects of life,
we're a bit yin-yang.
Jan wants this and I want that, which is completely different. So,
but you meet in the middle.
Of course, and that's what we want the quilt to do.
In not a compromise way, in a
win-win
together.
A win-win way. Yeah.
That's interesting, thinking about it like that, because you looked at this quilt and photos and my actual quilts, and the one that's hanging on the wall behind us here, which is the one I call my Terry Quilt, because it's made of these little blocks that I first saw on Terry Rowland's YouTube channel, which will also be a link to in the description. I kept saying, what about this, and you kept coming back to this idea of this quilt here, the idea being that you would choose colours that you love, you would choose colours that you love, no compromising, but then somehow we would make them meet together in the middle. And is that still our thing?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. All right, okay, well that's what I think we might do today. And so this quilt's going to go, now, let me tell you something else about Jan and Jane. You'll learn loads about them as we carry on. But they've got a cinema room, haven't you?
Yeah.
Of sorts, yeah.
It's amazing. And so do you think this quilt might go in your cinema room?
It could
I think so, yeah, because it's got a lovely sofa bed.
And it's quite, obviously, dark.
Yeah.
It's a cinema room, so
it's got
colour in
there.
there.
And it's got a lovely sofa bed, and as a treat, on certain evenings, we get the sofa bed out, we get the duvet out, and we lie on
potentially a little bit of chocolate.
Chocolate,
and you have wine, and we lie on the sofa bed
and watch a movie.
Watch our favourite films.
And then Doris pops up. Doris is a border terrier.
Yeah, we'll probably meet Doris in the fullness of this series. It's going to be a series, guys.
She joins us, and then we just have like a cosy night in.
And I've been lucky enough to be sitting on the seat next to you watching the odd film.
We didn't have the sofa bed out.
No, very well behaved. But no, I really enjoy coming to your cinema.
So we watched
Silver Linings Playbook was the last one we
great.
watched, which I really loved. I love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good. So we have very similar tastes in films, and we go to the local cinema as well to see stuff.
Were there
and
last
it was great, that film last week. Oh, such a good film.
Maybe we'll do some film reviews.
That would be good.
That would be good. So this quilt behind me then is my Terry Quilt, my colour wash quilt. And that's what we've decided that we'll do. And when I say we, you're going to design this. I'm going to do some of the construction. But if you want to get involved in doing any of the planning of it or quilting of it later when we get to that stage, I'd like to encourage you to do whatever you want with this quilt. So I want to talk to you about the block. I have a few that are left over from making that one. And so I want to talk about these individual blocks and how we make them. So if just take a few and have a look at them. Now, with the one that I made behind us here, For the middle fabric, I just chose anything and everything. And I've seen quite a lot of quilts made along these lines, and people decide to do slightly different things. And one I saw recently had all the same colour value in the middle. The different outsides took the wash across the quilt, but the middles were all blues or all greens or whatever.
And the middles don't have to be the same size.
No. And so that's what you're noticing about
I quite
this.
like that.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
I knew
so
you'd like that.
Okay, so yours can be very regular, Jane, all measured to millimetre precision, and yours can be all over the place. This is going to be really interesting, seeing how we bring these two different elements together. So the construction of this is simple, very, very simple indeed. But the things that we can think about are that thing that you first of all pointed out, do the centres need to be regular? I like them irregular. Do the centres need to be as different as the outsides? So there's quite a lot of thinking to be done about how your individual blocks will be, and then when we've got lots, we'll put them all up on the board. Now, it is lots as well.
Yeah. How many approximately?
I've got a feeling there's...
See, I love numbers.
Yes, you do, don't you?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Just like my mother.
And I don't like numbers very much. So I'm going to say there's about 600 in there.
Right.
I think there's 630.
That's nothing.
It's nothing. Well, we can make
5,000 pom-poms.
5,000 pom-poms, 630 squares. Well, we can make it as big as you like. There's no limit to how big we can make it at all. What am I saying? I'm making this quilt. So I've got a page in my quilt planner's notebook here. It just says Jan and Jane's quilt. That's all it says. So on here we can make the notes about things like that. About, firstly, this block finishes at 3 inches, I think. Let me have a look. I've got my little square here. Yeah, so this is 3.5 inches, which means it finishes at 3 inches. So the bit you see once all the seams are done will be 3 inches. Now, of course, I wouldn't say you could go any smaller, but you could definitely make it bigger if you wanted to. And so I can see the wheels going round in Jan's brain.
Well, I was just thinking, I like things, I was going to say I like things quite random, but I actually don't. I like things to look quite random.
That's
and
quite a hard thing to do.
And I know, and I've always been a little bit frightened of quilting because I felt like you had to really plan it down,
Right.
and be quite accurate.
There's a corner of the quilting world that would suit you perfectly, which is improvisational quilts and a little bit more random quilts. And so, yes, there's a very accurate...
But I also really love all those squares together.
And so your unit then is that little square. And it's now So I made a Pinterest board for you.
I'm looking at the chaos of some of those, and it looks
fantastic. Well, I'm going to show you the Pinterest board, and so, this is going to be so interesting because straight away Jane doesn't like the
chaos.
But look.
Which one are you looking at
So
particularly?
there was one, that one, the way that it comes together a little bit.
That colour wash.
Yes.
So we're starting
wash.
Here. We're going through all these colours and we're ending here, and we've got that sort of middle bit. This is going to be more of a challenge than I thought because of these two personalities coming together, which is kind of making me think, why did you choose this pattern? But
then
that one's got a cat on it. That's quite nice, isn't it?
That's lovely.
I like that one.
Okay, let's unpick that one and find out why we like that one.
Because it's got a bit more order.
Has it?
Yeah.
Really?
Definitely. Yeah.
That's really, really interesting. What
Is that because you think it's going over in lines almost?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's interesting.
Do you think that one's quite chaotic then?
No, I don't think it's chaotic. I think that what we're allowed to do with the colours we're going to choose is create like a watercolour wash.
That's very attractive to me as well, strangely.
Now, that one, I put that one on the board because I wanted you to see that this has got all solids in the blocks here.
Yeah.
Or the appearance of solids.
Yes.
Can you see?
Yes.
This is called, tone on tone. So this is a very patterny fabric. Okay? before we go too much further, no, I'm excited now. Before we go too much further, gather all these up and we'll put these back in this box and we'll see if, when we get to the point of creating our own blocks, if there's any here that you want, because these are all now spares.
I think it would be good to have some of these.
Well, only if they fit. Because what I'm going to do now...
See, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Now, do you love that?
Well, my first impression is that it's not symmetrical.
We're going to have to crack that one, I'm afraid.
But I don't mind, because that can go on Jan's side.
She's a work in progress. She's come a long way.
This is another thing I'm going to say then, Jane.
Yes.
Is that one on its own looks like that, but when you look at it
exactly. And
you can see some sense of order when there's a lot of something.
And I love that, don't you?
I do. And what I was going to say is, I love things that when you wear them or you're sitting with them, that you think you know them really well, and then you spot something.
And they surprise you.
That you, look at. So I made a quilt. It's only very small. It's probably about this big, isn't it? About
as big as my cutting board.
But I only made part of it. My mum started it, I think, when she was young. I'm not sure exactly when. And then when I was 18, I got some more material, lots of material from my childhood, and I made some hexagon squares and I added to it. And then in my 50th year, which wasn't too long ago, I finished it.
Yeah.
And I put it on my knee like an old lady, and I look at it, and still now I'll look at and think, I remember that. That was my school dress.
That's the whole purpose of patchwork.
Yeah.
It really is, using those lovely, beautiful memories and thrifted fabrics. Buying new fabric and cutting it up. No. We do that to make a finished thing.
Yeah.
But what you're talking about is that evoking those memories. When you tuck it round your knees like that and you're knitting a sock.
That's right. I meant to bring my knitting.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
Next time.
Next time you bring your knitting.
Yeah.
That's what it's for, though. Yeah. That's what this patchwork thing's for. So, which makes me think, if you've got any little bits of fabric...
I was just thinking, I brought a load of fabric ages ago, and then it was not really suitable. But even if there was just one piece of that...
Yes, we can do that.
That it could get in.
So have you still got that fabric?
No,
I've got it.
You've got it.
You've got it back. So with that, it was quite sheer.
Yeah.
And the reason why I was struggling to think about how to use it, but we can stabilise it by putting a little bit of very lightweight interfacing.
Or even if there's one bit that wasn't too thin.
Well, we can use those pieces
that I could spot every now and then.
But what I'm going to do now, because we've been talking and now we're going to start looking, so move your cup of tea. Now I'm going to give you fabrics. And what I want you to do with these fabrics...
This is going to be fun.
I want you to start sorting them into two piles, a Jane pile and a Jam pile.
Right.
Oh, what about 3 piles? Because there will be...
Oh, okay.
There'll be a Jan and Jane pile.
Oh, good idea. Let's do that.
Yeah,
now,
maybe.
This is just all my scraps, okay? There's another box on the floor, but we've got enough to be going on with. So, without overthinking it, I want you to do this quite quickly and make piles of stuff that you're absolutely drawn to. And then ones that you... Oh, it went! It'll come back again. Ones that you absolutely love.
Yeah.
And then ones that you maybe don't love.
Don't love?
You could reject a pile.
Oh, okay.
So I think...
I don't think there'll be... I like...
And it's great, you can choose things like that because we can use little thin pieces like that.
Is that in there?
Yes, they're all in there. So just because these are a bit bigger...
I love that. I'd wear that. That's lovely.
That's a designer called Anna Maria Horner. And she makes beautiful fabrics. I'm going to be really interested to see what your piles are like.
I love hearts.
Hearts, okay. Oh, this is me making fabric.
Look!
Yeah, this is just me sewing fabric onto other fabric.
Oh, that's brilliant.
To make fabric. No, what I'll do with this now is I'll explain to you what I'm going to do alongside you while you're doing this, and that's great that we found this because this is just me sewing random bits of fabric together when I've got them next to me on the machine, and I'm going to make scrap fabric from all the bits you're not using. And that is the sort of beginning of that for me.
Oh,
Do you like that?
I like that one.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Oh, good.
I love spots.
Good. Spots. Yes, if they're sewn together, it doesn't matter. You can put them in.
Oh,
There's a
I think I
few
like all of
spots,
those.
look.
I love stripes too. There's a lot, isn't there?
Yeah, and this is only a bit of it.
Where do you keep it all?
Upstairs in the shipping room, it's called.
This is lovely.
The extra
This is a
shipping
particular
room.
gorgeous.
person.
Yes, and I can't remember who, but that's gorgeous fabric.
They're lovely.
I like
I
those.
love
Put them
them.
all in. Put them all in.
Tell me about that fabric.
This is someone called Heather Ross. It's mice actually, but this is a designer called Heather Ross. So is that.
This one, yeah.
Sorry.
I was contemplating that one.
And she was having a studio sale
Yeah.
because she was stopping selling this particular type of stuff. And so I bought loads of it and made a quilt for Project Linus, which is a project that my mum used to support,
Oh yeah.
where you make quilts for babies and small children.
Now didn't your mum do
My
something
mum
like
used
that?
to
Was your mum a
knit.
Project Linus
She knitted
person?
Linus
Linus
blankets,
blankets,
for
yeah.
prem babies.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And so this is, the idea of this is that I made a number of quilts. My mum made loads of quilts for Project Linus. Loads. And so after she died, I found a few in her workroom. And so I finished them and sent them off to Project Linus. And then I made a fair few more.
Oh no.
Maybe not that one. Huh. I made some more, and we did a lovely video where the Project Linus rep came, and I gave her the quilts, and she told us about Project Linus. So what I'm going to do now then is just I'm going to do this, so that all the upstairs, downstairs ones will get seen. That's it. What we're doing this preliminary look through the fabrics, which I'm enjoying very much, by the way.
I'm enjoying this as
Oh,
well.
good, excellent. Let's just keep going. Because I want to pick some out as well. Oh, Jane.
I said I'd wear that as well. Look at
Now that is a beautiful
gorgeous.
K facette
Oh, look at that.
free spirit fabric.
Yeah.
So when we've done this first pass through, I'll show you how.
First pass. Do we do a second pass?
Oh, we're just going to keep going with this. We're making a lot of squares, girls.
Yeah, yeah.
You're a very creative, artistic person, Jan, and you're a knitter, Jane.
Yes.
And so you understand about colours, and don't you?
I love colours.
So, and you also understand that when you're painting,
Yeah.
you need to have something really sort of backgroundy, and you can't have all the hero colours in the front, can you? Because you have to have something that helps the hero colours to shine.
Yeah. Nice. I love contrast. Yeah.
Contrast. And so that's what we're doing here. So this might be what we call all our hero fabrics here.
I like colours that are in discord.
Yes, I do. I do.
They like to fight against each other.
I like that too. And so that's pretty. That's a nice one. Oh, I like that. Oh, this is interesting already. Look at what Jane's got in front of her. She's got all these gorgeous...
I quite like that,
You
but
like that?
I reckon. Oh, that's nice.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Another-
See, we
another
have
free spirit one.
We have a definite.
Well, of course you do.
course
And
we
so,
do, don't we?
yes, you can put that in because that would be the middle of
That.
something, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We basically are your colours, Kate.
Yeah,
Lime
good.
twin
Excellent.
sofa and pink. Yeah.
Extremely good. Okay, so this is the fabric you've chosen. So the block then is 3.5. This one long side here. So I'll just whiz that off around about there and cut that in half. So that's going to be 2 outer bits of block. From a 2.5 inch strip, which is what this is, you can get one with quite a big middly bit in. And then I'm going to do this, girls. You're looking very confused.
I'm not.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to cut 2 pieces like this, which will be the top and the bottom, and then I need something for the middle, which is going to be, in this case, I'm going to cut it quite wide, and we'll sew that together now. Okay, and you can carry on choosing. Have you found some fabric?
Yes.
You like? That's all good then. So we've sewn that together now, and you've ironed it absolutely beautifully. Thank you very much. And I'm going to use this little square here to cut it to 3.5. Now we're choosing 3.5 because the thing will be 3 inches finished. Okay,
right.
and we need a 1/4 inch on each side, so that's our 3.5. So you can see that the gradations on this ruler give you a very clear indication where that 3.5 is. Now I'm going to exaggerate a little bit here. You wouldn't cut it like this over here because you would leave that far too skinny. So you're going to position this now somewhere so it works. You do it.
Okay.
And
So I've got to get my 3.5 in.
yeah, on
So
both
3.5
sides.
there.
So there it is.
3.5 there.
There's, okay.
Yeah, that's fine,
And
isn't
then
it?
a really firm hand on the ruler.
Okay.
And
So I've got a grip. I've never used one of these before.
Okay, well, just go for it.
Right, nice and firm.
Nice and firm. And then, how
that.
perfect is that? Now keep it there, because now we can turn that round and do the second one, which is why I like to use this little mat.
Oh, did it move?
No.
No, okay.
Okay.
It's going to take a very long time, this quilt, if I'm doing the cutting.
And then we're just going to turn it round now and do the other two.
Okay.
So those are your two cut lines, so you need to do this line and this line.
Okay, so it's
So
going
now
to be
your
on
line,
3.5
this
now.
one has here
that one does as
that's
well.
it, perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, how brilliant is this?
Hey.
Oh, we'll rattle through these in no time.
Oh, yes.
Good. And then you can just leave your ruler put, whiz the mat round. Perfect. And now let's have a look at it.
Look at that.
Yay!
First
What
block.
a thing of beauty.
Joy forever.
That's beautiful.
I do like ironing. It's really
We do have an ironing story,
Can you explain what this is, please?
Okay, this little piece of fabric,
Yeah.
I call it a thread bunny. People call it
Yeah.
all sorts of things. When I've finished sewing something
Yeah.
and I haven't got the next one ready to chain piece,
Yes.
I need to cut that off. And so
Yes.
I just sew over and I can cut it off, and my machine's still on fabric.
Yeah. But does it not unravel?
No, it doesn't.
So you don't go forwards and backwards and like
No,
in the
I
olden
don't do
days?
that because this is going to get enclosed pretty quickly. Like that
Okay,
seam
yes,
there,
Yeah.
I don't need to reinforce because it's
No.
going to get enclosed pretty quickly. If these were lying around for any length of time and getting
They would
pulled
fray.
around, they may come
Yeah,
apart,
yeah.
but unlikely.
But then when you sew this to the next one, then that stops this
Yeah.
from fraying.
If you pass me one of the finished blocks,
My finished block.
okay. And so if we were to sew these together now,
Mm-hmm.
I'll explain this now. So can you see how we've got the two seams coming here? So I'm not going to sew that together so that these two seams are coming here. I'm going to sew the long edge to it so that it's sort of, I alternate them. Do you see? Do you get what I'm? No, you look confused. So this is a constructed block. Pass me the yellow one as well, because that's a little bit easier to see on that one. Okay, the contrast. So this is the way that I've constructed it here, with the one in the middle, the two on either side, and the long ones. And when I sew them together, I'm not going to put them together like that, because that's going to be quite messy.
Right.
But if I do it like that, that cleans it off nicely. So I'm going to put the long edge against.
Oh, right.
Okay.
I understand. Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And so with this one, it would be the edge with three seams coming together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's like when I knit a square blanket in garter stitch.
Yes.
You don't have all the garter stitch going with you have them.
Exactly.
Yes.
Give that one a press for me, please.
Certainly.
And we have three now. Oh, we have another one here. Look. Oh, this one's going to be a nice big one. Actually, Jane, ironing person, could you just flatten those for me as well? I love having a team.
There you are, Jan. That's for you to trim.
Lovely. Oh, is this one to trim as well?
Yes.
Oh, right.
Have we got the people for the right jobs? Are you,
I
happy
think so.
trimming?
I'm definitely not the ironer. I haven't ironed in 22 years.
Okay.
I haven't hoovered in 22 years.
Okay. This is interesting insight on getting into your domestic life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is tight.
Is it tight? Yeah, they are tight. Some of them make them a tad bigger when you're cutting them. It's ages since I made one of these.
So, How do you choose which threads to colour threads to use?
Well, that's a really good question. And so I use that it's not this, is it? It's nearly this. But I use grey thread for everything.
Right.
And this particular grey is Aurifil 2600. It's a sort of beautiful disappearing grey. And this colour disappears into everything. Whatever colour you think, well, that doesn't look...
Even black? Or do you not really sew
for
with
black? I don't usually sew with black, but for black I would use black. But no, I use this this grey thread, or something a little bit like it. And all the time, I love it.
And how much do you get through?
Oh, I get through loads of this stuff. I am sewing quite a lot. I should have a milometer on this. That would be quite fun. Well, we've got a proper production line going here. I really love how this is turning out. And as the very beginning of this project, follow along for all the other in this series. What should we call the series? Jan and Jane's Quilt. That's a little bit boring, isn't it?
Maybe we'll have a think about that.
We'll have a think, but we'll call this series something and we'll keep going with it until we've got a finish. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I really have. And so if you have, give us a thumbs up and a share and a like and a comment. All of those things are really friendly. And we'll see these two again in the next of this series.
Yay.
Yeah. Are you going to be up for that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. I've had a lovely morning. Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks so much. Right, well, we'll see this quilt take shape then. I can't wait.
Right.
Thanks so much. Right, keep sewing, keep pressing.
Yin and yang.
Got any ironing to do there?